It is 11 p.m. You told yourself you would start at 9. You are still scrolling. You know the deadline is real. You know the cost of waiting. And still, your thumb keeps moving. But the real answer for why you do this is far stranger than laziness. It has almost nothing to do with time management. It has almost nothing to do with discipline. It has everything to do with a war happening inside your skull that you did not choose and cannot fully see. You call it procrastination. Your brain calls it something else entirely. Start with a simple question. Why would a species that built rockets and cured diseases struggle to answer one email? You are not stupid. You are not broken. You are running an ancient piece of software on a modern operating system, and the two are not compatible. Your ancestors never had deadlines. They had seasons. They had daylight. They had immediate threats that needed immediate action, and almost nothing that needed patient, abstract planning for a reward that was months away. Here is the strange part. The task you are avoiding is not actually the thing you fear. What you fear is the feeling that shows up the moment you think about the task. Psychologist Tim Pychyl at Carleton University spent decades studying this exact moment, and his research points to something most people never consider. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotion regulation problem. You are not managing your calendar. You are managing your discomfort. Think about the last thing you put off. Was it boring? Confusing? Did it carry the risk of you finding out you were not as good as you hoped? Your brain registers that discomfort as a threat, the same category it uses for a snake in tall grass or a stranger walking too close in the dark. And when your brain detects a threat, it does not consult your long-term goals. It reaches for the fastest possible relief. Scrolling, snacking, cleaning a drawer you have ignored for a year. Anything that turns the discomfort off right now. Notice how specific that relief usually is. It is rarely rest. Real rest would actually reduce your stress. Instead, you reach for something active but meaningless. Something that occupies your hands and your eyes just enough to drown out the nagging voice underneath. That is not an accident. Your nervous system is not looking for peace. It is looking for distance, any distance, between you and the source of the discomfort. And the moment you find it, your body releases a small hit of relief, which your brain quietly files away as a reward. Do this enough times, with enough tasks, and you are not procrastinating on purpose anymore. You are running a habit loop that formed without your permission. This is where the two halves of your brain start pulling in opposite directions. Your prefrontal cortex is the part that can see next month. It understands consequences, it can delay gratification, it can picture the version of you who finishes the project early and feels proud. But your limbic system, the older, faster, more emotional part of your brain, does not care about next month. It only understands right now. And right now, avoiding the task feels better than doing it. Every single time you choose the video instead of the task, the limbic system wins that round. The prefrontal cortex loses. And your brain quietly learns that avoidance works. Because in the short term, it always does. There is a name for this battle. Economists call it time inconsistency. You value your future self's time far less than your present self's comfort, even though they are, technically, the same person. Researcher Fuschia Sirois, who has spent years studying procrastination and health behavior, found something almost uncomfortable to admit. People who procrastinate are not less capable. They often know exactly what they should be doing. What they lack is not information. It is the ability to make their future self feel real enough right now to matter. Picture your future self for a second. Not as a name on a calendar, as an actual person, sitting 3 weeks from today, exhausted, staring at the same task you are avoiding right now, except now it is smaller, urgent, and impossible to escape. That person is going to inherit every decision you make tonight. But your brain does not see them as you. Brain imaging studies have shown that when people think about their future selves, the areas of the brain that activate look strikingly similar to the areas that activate when thinking about a complete stranger. Your future self does not feel like you, it feels like someone else's problem. That is the strange reason you can't stop procrastinating. It is not a character flaw. It is a design flaw, wired in by millions of years of evolution that rewarded immediate survival over long-term patience. And here is the twist almost nobody expects. Procrastination is not really about the task at all. It is about identity. Every time you delay, you are not just finishing a task, you are rebuilding evidence. Evidence that your word to yourself still means something. Evidence that the discomfort was survivable. Your brain does not need a perfect record to change its expectations. It only needs enough small proofs, repeated often enough, that starting is safe. So tonight, when you feel that familiar pull toward anything except the one thing you are supposed to do, notice it for what it actually is. Not laziness, not failure, a signal, inherited from thousands of generations before you, mistakenly firing at a threat that was never really there. It is 11 p.m. again, somewhere, for someone. But maybe this time they do not open another app. Maybe they take one step so small it barely feels like starting at all. And maybe that is the moment their brain finally realizes the danger has passed.